Good morning. Welcome to Flat Earth Early Bird number 2702. I'm your host Arwin. And before I start the show, please don't forget to share it on any platform you deem fit. And if you haven't already, follow me here on Rumble and be here when I'm going live, which is normally 2 p.m. Amsterdam time every day. Well, these days it's usually more 2:30 p.m. Amsterdam time. It's been like that for quite a while actually, but I mean I'm supposed to be going 2 p.m. so whatever. And please also do support me through the gift card, PayPal, Patreon, Gifts and Go. Links are on the description box below. Send me super chat over at the Rumble live chat when the show is live, or subscribe to my channel. Support me that way. Any support would be greatly appreciated. I can really use it a lot. So please support your local Arwin, that would be great. Right. So, weather today, I guess it's just kind of the same. Yesterday's like really mostly clouded. A couple of blue spots here and there in between the clouds. I can't see any trails today through those blue spots, but I don't know, I'm not sure. They're not really big enough to make sure. But it is more clouded today than it is yesterday. Definitely. There's been no rain yet though. And also, it's still surprisingly warm outside. Like you think like, oh, the wind, that'll cool you off. But no, the wind is actually like kind of warm. So it's this, I don't know, it's a day where people are probably kind of feel a bit slowed down and kind of mellow. It's kind of a mellow day, really. If I had to describe it. Mellow Friday. For people, I mean, everybody's just doing what they need to be doing on a Friday, but they're all like, okay, almost over. It's really like that out there, and I feel like that as well. I feel kind of toasty. I just did not feel very well rested. When I woke up, I was like, oh, I want to sleep another 2 hours. But yeah, I didn't have time for that. So I had to get to the food bank and then do my show. Right. Anyway. It is Friday, the 24th of July, 2026. Temperature is 23 degrees Celsius with 58% humidity, 5 kilometers an hour wind. That's really low. It seems more like that, more than that. And 10% precipitation, but we'll see about that. And Sunday is now scheduled to be a rainy day. Okay. Tomorrow 26 degrees. So it's going to be even slightly warmer tomorrow, and then it's going to go back down Sunday when it's going to be raining supposedly. Monday it's still cool, and then Tuesday it jumps right back up to 28, and then Wednesday 33 again. What the fuck? It'll be 10 degrees more. Ugh. Okay, I guess we're gonna get a couple of hot days again. Hot summer's back, but not for now. For now it's gonna be this weather, which is more mellow and a good time to be able to sleep. Sleepy weekend. Right. So, let's hope this coffee does some good. Man, I've been out and about, but I still feel freaking like I just woke up. It's kind of annoying. I mean, yeah, it helps with dream walking, definitely, but it pretty much obstructs everything else. Like I now have to actually make effort to be focused to do basic things. That's kind of tedious. But I mean, it'll pass. I'll probably wake up and get really inspired today. Usually when I start out and it's like, oh, I don't know what to talk about, I feel like, and then it's like half an hour later, I'm going. So I'm gonna go by that pattern, because that seems to be something that happens a lot when I do my show. Got a bunch of clips, not super much, but still good ones though. And yeah, yesterday was overall a pretty inspiring day. My show was pretty good, I thought, because it was just like completely a natural flow like that. The way yesterday, like I started talking about medical stuff, like that is exactly how I talk face-to-face situations. And it's kind of interesting because in general, like especially here in the Netherlands, I mean, you can just start talking about that. Nobody's gonna, like, it's very rare to come across people that actually really looked into medical things, right? Other than what is on the surface. Most people still are just like gonna go with the mainstream recommendations because they've just not really dug into it, not really assimilated like the expertise to actually know what the fuck's going on out there and like what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be. And because of that, like to me it's just completely natural to just start talking about something food or medical related, or and just people give me the room. So I've rarely had that I started talking about these things and then had people like go against me and really push me back. It's just because I do know a lot about it, and I'm very happy that I do, and like I trust it, and I don't feel the need to actually have to prove it to anybody. I trust my instincts, I trust what I've learned more than most people. Anyway, yesterday's show was pretty good. Nathan Oakley, Worldwide Debates, was going at it again, and I actually like got involved a little bit. It was kind of fun sitting through that, but I mean, my god, maybe that's why I'm so freaking tired. Nah, just kidding. But I mean, it is really tiresome. It was kind of fun sitting in for a bit, but afterward I was like, okay, I definitely remember why I left again. So it was like, okay, that was fun for one time, and now I'm really glad that I don't have to do this every day. God. But I mean, yeah, it was just the same old. Like, Nathan is technically being right, and it's just up against, yeah, self-delusion. And it's kind of fun because at some point it was really provable, because the Ballers was just basically contradicting a statement they made earlier, and like that, when they're going at it against against Nathan Oakley, they just all start doing that. It's like, oh well, it's so tough, it's okay if we start contradicting ourselves earlier because it's all just about the moment. And that's just how they start operating a lot of the time, and it's really ridiculous. Like, still, that sort of thing even happened way back 9 years ago, like with the Rumpus and all that, the early baller crowd, anti-flat earther crowd. They all did it, and it's whoever's going at it now, they're still doing it. Like, these are all new people, I don't know them, and they're just doing the same damn thing. They're just being less sophisticated about it, less theatrical. Because I mean, the early anti-flat earther ballers, they were really like trying to like, I'm a professor, like I really know what I'm talking about, and like they were like, I thought it was like they were pretty good and convincing at doing that, and they did have the backgrounds. It was just much more interesting. Now these are just random people that are just like, no, I'm a ball. I believe in the ball now, and I'm just gonna do that. And you learn all the tricks, from the internet and the other streamers, and they're just nobodies. The good old days when we were actually going up against professors. Like technically they were like teachers and shit. But a lot of them, I don't know, maybe they all just kind of like retired or got too old for that shit, because it was very stressful for them too. Like some of them like were just like on the edge of like getting an aneurysm at times. They were just like really not handling it well. Like trying to argue the ball earth. But I mean, it gets so hectic there. But it's interesting though, for a bit. Just for a bit. And it's also just remarkable to just move in there and just listen in, and it's like exactly the same things. Like identical. If you would like translate like the whole communications to like a painting, like if you like sort of fractally translate it, it would just look extremely the same as like any previous situations. Like the same ways, the same alchemical processes that happen, the same mental gymnastics. It's just completely the same patterns. Like they really can't break out of it. It's like, and as flat earthers, like you can actually be much more dynamic. I pride myself in being able to like be very dynamic in my approach. Nathan doesn't always like that when I do that, but I mean I can do that, and the ballers just can't. They just can't do that. It's just like tragic. You could only do the same things. Because, I mean, yeah, we're just pointing at the flaws, pointing at the presuppositions, pointing at how you're ending up calculating something and not measuring it. How you're trying to overwrite the meaning of like what the scientific method is, etc., and science, what it all means, just to be able to argue like it's all what it seems on the surface. It's just so much deception that it's just completely standardized. And it's also standardized in a way that the people that do that, like they think it's normal, and so they don't actually see it as devious and deception, because it's just methodical. It's just like, that is the way you do that. Like that is how the teachers argue that. So it's like, oh, that's just the way you respond to that. That's how the ballers deal with it. It's not even like they're knowing, like, oh, I have to like really get, really, like they're not aware of the lie, basically. They're not aware of it. They're just copying it. Copying the mechanism intuitively. And I used to do that too. Like it's not actually hard to do that. You can copy something that's a trick for the better, and you like if a teacher runs into a dead end, well, it's very logical. You're going to just copy the dead end response then, because what else are you going to do? Just leave it out in the open? Or if you're really honest, and if you're in a discussion about it and you feel safe enough that the one you're discussing it with isn't like wanting up to like get into some kind of debate with you, then yeah, you could just be honest about it. Like I am most of the time. Well, yeah, I mean pretty much always, especially on my show. I'm just like, yeah, we just yeah, we're in a position where, as flat earthers, we basically have to admit we don't really know. We don't really know what the realm is. We just know it's flat, or at least flat in opposed to geometrically spherical, which it definitely isn't. But we don't know exactly, but it pretty much seems that it is completely flat for all intents and purposes. But we don't really know. And the ballers are like, every time they would just rejoice, like, how could you be foolish? You just admit that you don't know. So that means nothing you said holds any weight. It's like they have to have in their minds, a complete view that all is known, and then only do you have some kind of authority to basically determine what is right. Like, that is how they argue. They're not being very scientific and honest. And they just like replace the reality, the really knowing, with models and like model dependency. The model dependency is a bitch. I'm gonna put that in the title. But I mean, it really is. Whoa, what the? That's something else. The fuck was that? I'm literally typing the title and it just crashed in the middle of me typing the title. What the fuck? I'll just call it cosmological model dependency. It's kind of funny though if you just say model dependency is a bitch, because yeah, but I mean, let's just be specific. Hey, viscosity, it's not just ballers, wider spectrum of people. Yeah, I guess so, viscosity, but I mean, that wider spectrum of people, they don't really have any skin in the game. So they're just like, isn't it like this? They're just repeating what they're told. Like, they're not like trying to like take authority. Most people don't really try to take intellectual authority. You gotta realize that though, right? That really happens a lot in the flat earth scene when we're dealing with ball believers. And maybe like in religious debates, they have their own authority issue, which is like a whole issue by its own. But I mean, in this case, in your example, in general, it's not like everyone. Most people are just like, oh, this is what I got taught. They might remember it, or they'll be like, oh yeah, I learned something in school, but I don't remember. I don't really care. Right? Automated NPC response to everything. Well, when they're like really ego driven, yeah, basically the annoying gammas out there. But I mean, I wouldn't really know their responses too much, because I avoid those people in face-to-face situations and online. Because, I mean, what's the point at like trying to duke it out with somebody's ego? Like, they're like that because they probably are more likely to just be wanting to hang around with other people to not feel as lonely or something, that they're actually willing to learn anything. You gotta realize that there's a ton of those types of people too. Anyway, good to see you in the chat. Right, so there is the whole thing about, oh, people just respond with the information they learn. Yeah, of course. But it's a huge factor, as in, how is somebody invested into something, into a subject, into a story, in how they learn it, and that they, like, I don't know, derive some value for their own ego from some story. Like, I learned this, that makes me a really awesome person, or better than everybody. And that's like completely separate from the information, but it determines greatly in what they're actually going to be doing and how they're going to respond. If people are just not invested, you could say, okay, they're always going to have an NPC response, because it's just the default. But I mean, if it's just the default and they're not invested with their ego, they might be much more open and dynamic than somebody who is ego invested and is not very dynamic. They end up more just wanting to push their specific opinion on you, and if you like don't agree, or if you like oppose it in some way, then they just get very pushy, or they just try to shame you or something, right? That's a whole different game, and a game that is a waste of time. Right. Oh, that coffee does taste very nice. So yeah, that was yesterday, a lot of it. Owen Benjamin also had a stream, which was pretty good, but my god, he had continuous sound issues. He was like actually getting really upset by it at some point. He had tried to hold it back, but I mean it's like, it was really annoying, just in the middle of his sentences and all that. He tried to read a letter, and like he got silenced like 3 times trying to read that letter. Like, what the silence, just basically the mic suddenly turning off. Like, what the fuck? And so I really hope he managed to fix that, because that sucks. I don't even know like how you would, that's like maybe a wire breaking, like a wire that's faulty. Otherwise I can't imagine why it would have like zoned out like that so many times. I mean, my mic cuts out sometimes, but it usually like happens only once, and if it happens twice, it's like really bizarre. But then again, maybe it has something to do with like the aura, the energy output of our own bodies and our spirit, especially. Like Owen Benjamin's also talked about that, and he might have just been really disrupting it. And then if you get irritated about that happening, it usually gets worse. Yeah, because it's just this feedback loop. You get more tense because something is not working, and that more tenseness then makes it even worse. But yeah, Owen Benjamin's still fun to listen to. He was like also reviewing like Jerry Lewis, like some stuff from the past that I know very little of. But it's kind of interesting because it's like 20th century America stuff. I grew up like in the 80s and 90s with a lot of like American television and Hollywood stuff, but like I don't really know that much about. Like there were a lot of series back then from the United States that were not being eviled over to Europe. Like they didn't take it all. They basically like took a quarter or a third of it And a lot of it is like, if it's just never seen that back then, because it would never air on Dutch television. So it's kind of interesting when people like, when Owen Benjamin goes through something like that and plays that and references, because it's like, that is completely new to me. Like, I had no idea about basically what's been happening television wise, most of it in the 20th century in America, other than like Star Trek. Things like Knight Rider and the A-Team and all that sort of thing, right? Buck Rogers, Battlestar Galactica, just the very typical classic old stuff. Like, that all aired in the Netherlands, but things like Dallas, boring as shit, but I mean, it aired in the Netherlands. But there's like a huge amount of things also just happening. Talk shows, never seen that back then. That is like exclusively for Americans. Like, they've seen that, I have not. So I just don't really know anything about what was developing there. It's good to learn something. When somebody just brings that up as a team, it's just like, oh, that's another part to kind of like crystallize the puzzle of that era. Like, to figure out what was actually happening, it's just like deepening the fractal every time I get more detailed data. Because it really is that to me. To me, it's just like my lifetime, and before that, all of it. It's just like a band of like fractal patterns of like what's actually going on, what's the spirit of the times, like what are the developments, and where is everybody at. And that like translated into like a fractal pattern. And the more detail I get to learn in all directions, the more refined, the more precise, the more miniature detailed the fractal part becomes of that part of the timeline. So yeah, like I've really zoomed in on like the 20s a lot, 90-20s, and I zoomed in a lot on the 80s and the 90s, also because that's my time. And a little bit on like the 60s and the 70s in the United States, also because of like all the Kennedy assassination, the moon landings. Like, there were still tons of interesting things, but before that, it's like I almost don't know anything about it in the United States until like it's the 1920s, where it's like really about the style, about basically still using the old Tartarian buildings, the Federal Reserve Act. I think it's also like around the time with the Titanic. When was the Titanic? Hold on. The date. Oh yeah, 1912. So yeah, that was right before the Federal Reserve Act. Now I remember, it was directly tied into that. Yeah. Oh, Owen Benjamin's and Tarko Carlson again. He's mainstream approved. No, not really. I mean, he should be, but it would give him way too much power. But I mean, Tucker Carlson is effectively kind of rogue at this point in relation to the mainstream. Like, Tucker's almost like creating a new brand of mainstream. He's sort of trying that. But I mean, it is super hectic though. But yeah, Owen Benjamin is not mainstream approved. I mean, dude, it's making a lot of effort to make sure that doesn't happen, basically. And it's hilarious. With his dedication to the N-word. Among other things. So yeah, I do not share your strange opinion that Owen Benjamin is somehow part of the beast system in some way. I mean, he literally explains how he sort of used to be, what that was like when he was like a Hollywood comedian. Like dude, like this whole idea of the general public, what typically people do is like, oh, they're in on the beast system, and like there's some kind of like gang thug in it. Like, it's not how it works, man. Like, I've actually learned a lot from Owen Benjamin about how it actually works, and I learned a lot from Quantum of Conscious that actually provides a model that explains it, like why it happens the way it happens, in a very surreal way, but I mean, it kind of works. And hey, Owen Benjamin's also taken note of Quantum of Conscious, so it fits together. But I mean, Owen Benjamin's just doing his own thing, and he is really resourceful and funny, and sometimes he's just absolutely brilliant. Like, I like to prize myself at being smart, but I mean, Owen Benjamin is like, I've seen enough to know, like, he is like technically, when it comes to peaking, he is smarter than me. I know it. But hey, that yeah, all I can say is, hey, I'm not that stupid. I often feel more stupid. It's not like my life might be not as good as it could be, and that's stupid. But when it comes to like my capabilities, mental, like, I am not stupid. And also, I'm very independent minded. Very. So it's just, yeah, it's what it is. But I mean, like, there is just another model to it, right? With intelligence, like, true intelligence is actually hard to spot unless you're truly intelligent, and then you can like see, because it's like, it's hard to tell if you're not that smart. It's hard to tell what actually makes somebody smart, because you can just emulate smart information, you just can repeat it and sound really smart, but that doesn't mean that you actually are that smart. It's all about understanding and dynamic, and just like peak ability of doing something really effectively, especially in communication or healing in a spiritual way. Just communication related skills, like, that's where the most important intelligence basically shines. And then of course there's things like just technical mastery of engineering, which is incredibly vast, so that requires just to have like a really big mind, like a giant warehouse full of technical information, which is another type of talent. But yeah, one talent that it doesn't work like that with me. But he is like, he finds ways through in a systemic way with information sometimes, and he absolutely picks up on spiritual metadata. He absolutely does. Like, I mention that thing a lot, spiritual metadata. I try to, like, because I really actively try to perceive it, and so I address that. He noticeably does that, just because of the result. Right? So it takes intelligence to spot intelligence. And I'm smart enough to know that Owen Benjamin is technically smarter than me. But yeah, at the same time, he has the equal amount of burden, because real intelligence comes basically with a burden, with a curse that comes with it. It can manifest in all kinds of ways. It can like make you have an uncontrollable ego, or it can just have you be eccentric in a way that often then draws in people with huge ego issues. So that's the problem. Real intelligence, you either get like a massive ego issue in some way, can also be introspective, where you just like have self-loathing. Self-loathing is very normal with real peak intelligence. It just happens, right? So there's always a burden with real intelligence, and like dumb people like never realize how easy they got it. That's the funny thing. It's like dumb people, they want to be smarter. Real smart people wish that they were a bit dumber, not because they don't want their ability, but because they would like to have a little less burden of it. They realize the burden of real intelligence. And Owen Benjamin definitely has his burdens, and he realizes, but I mean, he's a brave guy, and he's just doing everything right move. Like, and that in a way makes me jealous, is just that he's just so good in making all the right moves, man. I've had a lot of problems in my life actually making the right moves. It's been a big theme. It's never really gone away. So yeah, I'm jealous of that. But at the same time, I'm trying to figure out like how does that actually work? And if I had like the right circumstantial changes, could I also do that? Or at least partially? Could I grow into that? Because I mean, a lot of it is just energy management, and Owen has like just naturally just the energy of his on a cellular level. Like, he has a lot of energy naturally, and he uses it effectively. I have a lot of energy too, but I've never really figured out how to really use it. It just ended up driving me crazy a lot, and that's why I like would eventually like start to get so into cannabis, because that just took some issues off. Neighbor asking for toilet paper. That's the first time I've experienced that. So she caught us at a good moment, because we've had times where we were out of toilet paper too. So toilet paper. I mean, there's probably going to be an another toilet paper crisis coming. I'm being very busy today. At least I'm moving around a lot. These weirdo advertising guys that just like, hey, and I mean, this is like either a really smart AI or real people that are doing that. They actually like watch my show just to like they're soliciting for a job. Well, they probably in a way are. To really perceive something about my show and all, then they can help me fix my views. Okay. So weird. It's so like I've had like hundreds and hundreds of these types of comments here on Rumble alone for the last 4 years. What is it? And I'm always like, is that a real person? Like, are they actually going around doing this? It's weird, but I mean, yeah, I don't have any money. And it's definitely not gonna be free. They're definitely not gonna offer me a deal like, oh yeah, I'll help you out, and then I just like get some of the money you make from Rumble. This is never gonna be what the deal is. I'm pretty sure of it. It's okay. Well, Benjamin can be smarter than me. I mean, he's more successful and everything. Like, fine. I still like what I do, though. And I mean, sometimes Owen is off about things. But the funny thing is that he always does eventually catch on. Like, I've never seen him not hold on to something that clearly needed correcting. But it's also because he does pick items and positions within these items purely for comedic value. So he's like playing on the comedy even with the information and the discovery of it. And because of that, well, then he's not purely focused on just getting it exactly right for himself, because he's focused on the comedy, and that's logical that would happen. I don't have that issue. I'm not focused on comedy at all. Hope everybody's having a good Friday, a good weekend. Yeah, this one I played yesterday. Terry stuff, something really funny about American language. Those are like really freaking funny. And it's like, that is actually true. Let's play that for a bit. Why not?
The thing about Americans that I've thought about the language is that they say they speak English, but they've had to change it to make them understand it more. Go with me on this, because I've thought it through. They've changed some of the words. So they've taken the English language, but they've looked at some of it and they thought, no, I think we need a little bit more explanation here, okay? That's my American accent. So things like pavement. So they can't work with pavement, so they've changed it to sidewalk. Yeah. They needed more information. They needed to know where they were going to be walking so that they wouldn't get run over.
So I didn't think of that.
Pavement, sidewalk. So I think there must have been a period of time where they ran with the word pavement, but they kept getting hit by cars. So they changed it to sidewalk. Now bear with me here, John, because I've thought this through. Yeah. Bin, the word for bin. In American, waste paper basket. They needed to know not only what to put in it, they needed to know that not only it was paper, but waste paper, and then it goes into a basket. It's not just any paper. They kept throwing away fresh paper for a period before they introduced the word waste paper basket. You see, it's like they need instructions. Glasses for your eyes, they call them eyeglasses. They needed to know where to put them on their face, because they used to have glasses and they would put them on their thighs and they would put them on their feet and they would say, I can't see any better with the glasses. And then somebody went, no, they're eyeglasses. Well, why didn't you call them eyeglasses? There's a game called squash. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
Not in America. Racquetball. They needed... It's a true story. They needed to know what they were going to be playing with, a racquetball, and even then they get confused because there's no court. They don't know where to go. They just wander through the street going, I want to play racquetball, I want to play racquetball. So they're probably going to have to change that. But my favourite one, without a shadow of a doubt, is horse riding. Do you know what horse riding is in America?
Is it not called horse riding?
No. Horseback riding. They had to specify the area of the horse. Well, yes. There were terrible problems, because there was a period of time when they didn't call it horseback riding.
Where did they go?
They used to hold on to the tail and they used
Are you sure this is how they ride the horses in Europe?
I mean, that is amazing. Oh. I know that's a proper way to make fun of Americans. That is just great. Because it's all true. It's just super exaggerated. But there is that thing with the language. They did do that. And it's so funny. And he's also like very good at delivering it. That was like a genius comedic piece. very happy to bump. Like, that made my day, bumping into that. Definitely wanted to share that. Hope you thought that was funny too. If you didn't, then what frickin' planet are you from? My god. What the hell was that about? Tartarian Castle? Oh yeah, I played this yesterday. Yeah, man, I only got 2 clips. What the hell? I remember like scrolling a ton. But I guess I didn't really come across anything. I don't know, last night was kind of a blur. Oh yeah, I was watching Owen Benjamin. A bunch of InfoWars. Yeah, I'll get to the news. I should get to the news. The news. Okay, what's happening in America? Yeah, things are like getting a bit black-pilled with the US. It's like looking bad. The whole basically espionage act from Israel to take ownership of American intelligence and military secrecy and all that, like it's past. Like that, it's super fucked. Like, we're gonna feel the scars of this for decades to come. The entire world, yeah, not just America. I mean, and I mean, yeah, it just makes everything at a greater risk. It's a greater risk that, well, Russia, Iran, China are going to up their games as well. And I mean, it's like, yeah, like we've been saying forever, World War III. It's like we're right on top of it. It's already gone hot. It's just going to escalate. The escalation of the World War is going to be very soon. Very soon, European targets are gonna get blown up, like Western Europe. And maybe America is gonna even get hit, or have their outer bases get hit. Like, the likelihood of that happening is actually really high right now. And this is not some nuclear threat DEFCON. It's no, just missiles blowing shit up. Yeah, nukes are fake. It's just a geopolitical statecraft deterrent. Nothing is going to be nuked, but I mean, big bombs in very fast, unstoppable missiles are going to blow up a lot of things. And hopefully exclusively military targets and things like ammunitions factories. And because I mean, I just hope that they're not just going to blow up every frickin' power plant everywhere. There's already been so much blown up in that sense, and it's just, energy crisis is like really going insane. Like, the way things look now, it's just like basically almost zombie apocalypse level could be like right around the doorstep. There's just like one rug in between it, and one bastard just has to pull that rug, and it's completely total destruction. And I don't mean like, oh, nukes or missiles even, or military, but just like entire cities starving, gangs literally starting to loot, everything burns, and it's just like it's all gone. Like, that'll happen way quicker than people could possibly imagine. They'll just have like garden parties, and then suddenly some Mad Max like gang just suddenly drops by and just starts to kill everybody and loot everything. It just seriously, that shit's right around the corner. Like, that's the actual damage of a massive energy crisis. I mean, the Mad Max. What was the premise of Mad Max? Remember that? There's this little story in Mad Max 2 right before it. It's like, oh yeah, it's just energy shortage. Just suddenly the pumps stop pumping and just like, oh, energy shortage. Gangs literally just looting, trying to find more gasoline. Yeah, that's basically what is right in front of us with this active blowing up of energy resources. There is reserves for backing things up, but I mean, they're not gonna last very long. And then when it's gone, like, it's gone. And what the hell you think's gonna happen then? Right? And there's no more energy, then that also means refrigerators don't work anymore, which means no more food storage, which means lots of spoiled food, and then suddenly no more food for like a long period of time. And then people are actually going to starve and chaos will break out. Like, it's that simple. It's once power really goes off and refrigerators basically stop working, food systems collapse. Yeah, all these warehouses that store food, they suddenly basically everything starts rotting, and then like all the food is just gone. Yeah? That's the real acute danger. So yeah, that's the geopolitics. Don't you just love it? Yeah, I'm putting that in the title. The Mad Max Energy. I've been calling it the Mad Max Energy Crisis. Like, everybody should be calling it the Mad Max Energy Crisis. Because then people will figure it out. Like, what it actually means. Yeah, it's not just a nuisance. It's just not just an inconvenience. It is incredibly dangerous. Let's play that other video. Let's move on. I made my point. So, what is this about?
Did the Pentagon hide that the human body can regenerate itself in under 48 hours for 61 years? Insiders claim that in 1965, a classified research program inside the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, aka DARPA, confirmed something that would destroy the entire pharmaceutical industry overnight. Human tissue, including nerve cells, organ tissue, and spinal cord fibers, can fully regenerate when exposed to a precise electromagnetic frequency window between 7.83 Hz and the 14.1 Hz. The project was codenamed Operation Lazarus. They tested it on 214 soldiers with catastrophic battlefield injuries, burns, severe tendons, and shattered vertebrae. 94% of subjects showed complete tissue regeneration within 36 to 48 hours.
Yeah. So, if basically equipment to specifically give like this kind of like electric effect and sound healing, which is what it is. What do you think like a giant activated Tartarian cathedral would do? Exactly that. Literal healing. People wounded, torn up, sick. They go in, the right music, it's like estimated, okay, what exactly they're gonna need. And then they just have the right music, and it's just like, they do that 2-3 days, and then they're probably just like it never even happened, completely regenerated, or mostly. Some things might not be able to regenerate, but I don't know. Maybe even that would be possible. So just to give a little extra thought to this.
Bone fractures healed in 4 days instead of 6 weeks. Nerve damage previously considered permanent reversed entirely, and 2 paraplegic soldiers regained full mobility within 11 days. The lead scientist, Dr. Robert O. Becker, later published fragments of this research in his book, The Body Electric, and of course was immediately stripped of all federal funding, blacklisted from every university, and erased from medical history. Here is what they classified. Your DNA would then not be a fixed code, but a receiver. Every strand of your DNA operates as an antenna. It receives and transmits electromagnetic information. When your body is exposed to the correct frequency, your DNA activates repair sequences that mainstream medicine says are impossible. The 7.83 hertz, aka the Schumann resonance, which is the Earth's electromagnetic resonance, activates stem cell production. 10.5 hertz triggers full body cellular regeneration, and the 14.1 hertz repairs neurological damage and restores synaptic connections. Your body was designed to heal itself. They just turned off the signal. Why? Well, maybe because a cured patient is a customer lost. Remember, the global pharmaceutical industry generates $1.48 trillion every year. Every dollar depends on just one lie: that the human body cannot heal itself without chemical intervention, with pills that create side effects. In other words, new diseases. If true, Operation Lazarus would then prove that this is false, already back in 1965. The claim is that this is not just a theory, but documented Pentagon research. Of course, Google or AI won't budge on this one. So, you let me know what you think. Could frequency healing be the future of medicine? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Don't forget who loves you, and I'll catch you in the next one.
And I mean, I know from personal experience that what he's talking about actually works. My dad has a machine, a German machine that basically does that. It's like a frequency generator, very specific, very elaborate, that can literally just heal specific parts of your body. And I mean, it works. I had a lot of like issues like 10 years ago, physical, which purely also because I went through a lot of trauma and with breaking up with my ex and all that, feeling really demoralized to the point with hallucinations and everything, and like I could argue that it may have actually like restored some brain damage, because when my dad was doing that and for like a longer period of a year, not every day but just every now and then, like it really helped a lot. So yeah, always keep in mind, like if everything really goes to hell and you like start to have physical symptoms just from demoralization, Schumann resonance will also help. Right, anyway, a good clip. So yeah, just 2 clips, but I mean they were pretty good. Hope everybody enjoyed them. Can I get a Rogan's for that? Alright, let's see. Dutch news. Okay. yeah, weaponized psychological warfare with the propaganda. Like state propaganda here. It's just pretty significant these days. Like very noticeable with NATO, but I mean with everything. The whole climate change hysteria, with the woke shit. But they are weaponizing it a lot. And that's being figured out. Because I mean, it's getting worse. Like, they're not budging, they're not stopping. They are like insistent, like, no, we're going to mind control the shit out of everything and rather make everybody insane than lose control. That's what the globalists here, the commissars, the neo-fuel communists, that's what they're doing. So yeah, that, and excess deaths is still very high, so we're still seeing a lot of damage from the initial COVID vax rollout. Still excess deaths are still happening. Yeah, that's about it for the news. No real new items rolling out. Maybe we'll scroll a little bit further, maybe something. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Is there any activity out there? Let's take a look. It's crowded in there. Right, I'll save that for another day. Well, anyway, I'll just join up with them after this. But I think I'm gonna round out the show. I'm a bit disappointed with the little amount of feedback. Thought there would be more people. It's nice viscosity to show up and give some input. But I think that he's already gone. Right, so I'm just gonna round out the show then. Thanks everyone for watching and coming. Hope you liked this show. If you did, then please don't forget to Rogan's it up. And if you haven't already, follow me on Rumble and Beer when I'm going live, which is normally 2 p.m. Amsterdam time every day. Please also do support me. Free gift card, PayPal, Patreon, and Go. Links are in the description box below. Send me super chat over to the live chat when the show is live. Or subscribe to my channel. Support me that way. Any support would be greatly appreciated. I really use it. Please support your local Arwin. Really do need it. Right. I'll be back tomorrow with Flat Earth Early Bird number 2703. Saturday. Hope to see you all then. Everybody have a great rest of this Friday and have a great weekend. And until the next video, keep it flat.